a Spanish journalist, and I'm going to be your hostess this morning in this European event. I want to thank you all for being here, for your presence today. On behalf of Fundación Integralia de KV from Spain, Associaçao Salvador from Portugal, and Mestieri Lombardia from Italy. Thank you all for being there. And this online meeting that is almost the end of a journey that we started a year ago and that we baptized as Better to Include. Better to Include is a program funded by Erasmus Plus of the European Union. And I say today is the end of a journey because Better to Include has had several stages, but today we arrive to one of the final ones, and perhaps the one that will have the most multiplier effect and impact. Because today we are introducing the guide of good practices in labor inclusion of people with disabilities. That I remember you can download the guide at the link. I think you'll find at the chat. Let me check, I don't know, but I think the link is available or is going to be available in the chat in a moment. And why this guide is so important and why this work is so important to labor inclusion for people with disability. Let me just drop some figures. 1 in 4 European adults have some kind of disabilities, according Eurostat data. 1 of 2 feel discriminated because of that disability, and 1 of 5 are unemployed. So I want you to know how the event is going. First, it'll have 2 parts. First, directors of the three non-profit organizations that are behind Better to Include, they are going to share with us their motivations and how the program has allowed them to exchange inclusion methodologies. And after that, in the second part, we will focus on show you 3 of the 28 practices that are compiled in the guide. All of them from very diverse sectors of activity, from healthcare to banking sectors, for example. And for you all know, if there are any questions, we will go through them at the end of the event. You can let the questions in the chat, but you can let them there, and we will go after that. Now I'd like to briefly introduce the representatives of the 3 social entities, non-profit organizations that are behind Better to Include. And I think I must welcome in the first side to Cristina González Hipólito. Sí, Cristina, hi.
No,
Cristina is Managing Director of Fundación Integralia de KV from here and from Spain. So, hola, Cristina.
Hola, buenos días, Victoria. Hello for everyone.
Oh, sorry.
You can hear me? You can hear me? Yeah, okay, perfect.
Thank you. And we want to introduce you also to Federica Castellucci. Vice, I don't know if Federica is here with
Hi,
us.
yeah, I'm here. Good
Federica.
morning, everyone.
Federica Castellucci is Vice Direttore Generale of Mestieri Lombardia from Italy. Ciao, Federica.
Ciao, thank you.
Ciao. And the last representative, I don't know, is here with us, Salvador. I don't know if you can see me right now or there's any problem. Yes, I think it's my problem. I don't know. I don't know if you can hear me. I'm back. It was my problem. You can hear me?
Yes, Victoria, we can hear you.
Oh, sorry about that. I don't know what happened. We were just welcoming Cristina and Federica, and I have to introduce you to Salvador Mendez Almeida. Salvador, I can see him. He's president and founder of Salvador Association from Portugal. Salvador, are you here? Are you there? I can see you. I don't know. Well, if Salvador is, yes, I don't know. Perhaps he's not ready. So we are jumping for the next section, and perhaps when Salvador is ready, we can say hello and benvindo to him after that. Well, thank you all for being here. And now I give the floor to Luza González Rincón. She is the coordinator of Better to Include, a Spanish program. And Luza is going to explain the different stages that the program has been through and the criteria they have followed to prepare this guide that today we are presenting. And I remember you can download in the link that we have in the chat. Luza?
Here she. Okay.
Yes, hello. Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Victoria, and thanks to all. We are very happy to have this meeting and to show you what we have done during this year of the project. And please, I have
Okay, I can see you right now, Luza. Luza?
Yes, I have a presentation. Just give me a second. I can put on the screen, I think.
Okay.
All right. Yes, he is. All right. So first at all, but Better to Include is a project financed by Erasmus Plus program of the European Union. This project is a type of a small-scale partnership for adult education. Yes, in Spain, the intermediary body of this fund is SEPIE, that is a Spanish service for the internalization of education. So we started this adventure last year on December between three entities that we have a long story in the promotion of the rights of people with disabilities, especially in employment. Yes. So the first entity is Integralia Foundation, which is the lead of the consortium and is the one I work for. Integralia DKV is in Spanish entity with more than 20 years of work in the social and work and labor inclusion of people with disability. And it goes 7 centers of employment and where work 600 people with disability in Spain, in all over Spain. And then we also have a pleasure to be in this project with Mestieri Lombardia, that is a regional network in Italy of employment agency. They are authorized by the Lombardy region to provide intermediation, selection, and outplacement support for people in risk in social exclusion, including people with disabilities. And the last entity from Portugal, Salvador Association, that works on the field of motor disabilities. And it goes 20 years of life working, promoting the inclusion of people with disability on the society and empower their talent and raising awareness of equality opportunities. Yes. Then, now the objectives of the project. Yes, the first, the strengthening the joint work of the entities to face the challenge of employability of people with disability. For us, it has been very, very good experience, and I'm sure that all the technicians that we have involved in this project, we have a very good opportunity to learn a lot. And then the second objective was to improve the training and qualification of technicians, education, and support staff that are people that got the important mission to training and guiding and supporting the social occupational integration of people with disabilities. And for the last, raise awareness of good social labor practices, especially among companies. And that's why we are here with this webinar and this event. And the guide we have produced that we are gonna show you today and talk about it today. Now I want to tell you about the results. Yes, we have obtained with this project during to achieve these objectives. Yes, the first, through this year we have had very some meetings that allow us to share the way of each organization works to promote the employability of people with disability. We share our knowledge, the knowledge of the situation of the people with disability in each country. We discovering new ways of work, methods, and different experience of the specialization of each organization. Yeah. So from this exercise, we create this Better to Include methodology, the one you can see here. And it's a methodology more integral and complete. Yes, we mix the methodology of each organization and we create this one. And this one contemplates the individual work with persons with disabilities and the company. And then the moment where they match, that is very important to be a successful process. Yes, not only the moment where they have a match, also all the process after that. Yes. So this methodology is available on the project website in different languages for download and to use it as a reference. So I encourage you to go to the website and to get this methodology. Well, and then the second thing we did on the project was, for improving the training of the staff. So based on the Better to Include methodology, we designed this training course for especially technicians from social organization. So we have validated in a meeting in last June in Lisbon, with a Portuguese disability organization. So this course have a duration of 18 hours, yes. And in this course, all the people who attended can follow step by step the journey of the methodology. So the technician of entities or enterprises can approach the process of labor inclusion for people in the companies, yes. The structure of this course is also available with the methodology on our website, and it's any organization and company can use it in Europe and all over the world as well. And then here is, as I told you, when we were in June in Lisbon, so you can see some picture of the people when we have this meeting. And in this meeting also we record a video for this moment, and I would like to play it for you. Maybe exactly, Mireia.
Better to include. Better to include. Better to include. Better to include. Better to include.
Yes, with love from Portugal. We have a very nice meeting there with an organization that works with people with disabilities, and also with enterprises. Because the product, and the second and the last one is the guide, and we also have we validated with some enterprises in Portugal in Lisbon. So this is the last product of the end result of the project. That is the guide we are show you today, and we are discussing about it today. This guide includes 28 training and labor inclusion initiatives from Spain, Portugal, Italy, and also one from Poland. And there are two types of initiatives. Yes, because in the beginning we wanted to regard only labor inclusion experiences, but that is impossible to leave a part of that training experiences, because we are sure and we know that both experiences are together, most of them. So you can find these two types of experiences and initiatives in this guide, and you will find here companies, entities, different big one, a small one, different kind of entities in the guide, and where we believe that giving visibility to this good experience can be inspiring for all the people that are trying to get the labor inclusion of people with disability, that are trying to find different strategies to improve the employment of this group. So we are sure that this guide can be inspiring, very inspiring. This guide is now available in English and Spanish, and at the end of the week it will be available in Portuguese. So you don't have excuse. Please download it and share it with all your contacts. Yeah. And well, just for the last one, I am pleased to collect the learnings, yes, we have in this project. I have to say that I'm a little bit sad to say goodbye to this project, because it's our first Erasmus project, so we are very fond on it. But well, we really enjoy and learn a lot. All the people that we were involved on it, we have a lot of lessons. So I summarize here only some of the lessons. Yes, the first one, I think the knowledge of inclusion policies among the countries, because we have different laws in Spain, Italy, and Portugal. We can share the difference, and also to get more ideas on how that law could be better. Yes. And also we have the opportunity to approach the reality of disability in each country, in this collaboration with these entities. And I think we now are thinking about what a new project can do together. Maybe a long one, because this is only for 1 year, but I'm sure we can do something more with other countries also in Europe. And the alliance, yes, is the first one. Those three entities, we worked together. And it was, I think after this project, we have a strong our relation and strengthen our relation. And I'm sure that we are going to collaborate in more projects. I think also we improve a lot the coordination and leadership skills of all the people that were involved in the project. It was a very, very great experience for us. And last but not least, of course, we improve our languages skills. So now we all know a little bit of each language. So right now I only have to say, Muito obrigado a tutti and better to include. Go ahead, Victoria. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Lutha. I think we've got plenty of time. We're on schedule. I can ask you a question, if I may. You have talked about different realities in each country about disability. How different is that reality? Talking about disability in Portugal, in Italy, and in Spain, because we are all Mediterranean countries, but there are so many differences among us.
But I think you can see the difference for the time, the law, and especially the labor inclusion law. Yes, because the rights law for people with disability, we think are very, very similar. But the point is the percent of reserved places for people with disability that each country have to, all the enterprises on each country has to get. Yeah. So we could see, like in Spain, for example, we have been more than almost 40 years with this law, and in Italy almost 20 as well. But maybe in Portugal, they only 2 or 3 years. Yeah, they start with this law. So now the enterprises are very worried to how to get people with to get workers with disability, how to train them. So I think they are in that way to learn more about it. It was very interesting, in special also to see the difference between how in each country the percent of disability any person have to get the disability recognition. It's very different. In Spain, for example, is from the 33%. Yes, but for example, in Portugal, it's from the 65% up to. So I think there are many, many, many things to work, and I think all the organization with more organization in our country, we have to talk to enterprises and the government to improve the life of people with disability that pass for the job, because it's very, very important for the welfare of any person. Yes.
Thank you so much, Lutha, for that explanation, the presentation, and that explanation. I wanted to know more about the difference, where we are in this work that you are going through. So now, Lutha, we face the second part of the event. Now we are going to take a closer look on sorry, I am interrupted myself because I think we've got with us a finalist, Salvador. to know Salvador. Finally, Salvador, we are now welcoming Salvador Mendez Almeida. He's president and founder of Salvador Association from Portugal. This is one of the associations that are behind Better to Include program. Hola, bem-vindo, Salvador. Thank you for being here, finally. I don't know if you can hear Salvador. I can't. We can hear you, Salvador. Sorry about that. No. Sorry about that. We'll try later, perhaps. Okay, we'll try later to talk to you. Thank you, Salvador, and welcome. Now we resume. We were saying we are facing the second part of the event, in which we are going to take a closer look on 3 of the 28 experiences of good practice in labor inclusion with people with disabilities included in the guide. We have chosen one from each country that have participated in the program, one from Portugal, one from Italy, and one from Spain, and from very, very different backgrounds, from banking sector, healthcare, agriculture. First one, I think we're going to Portugal. Yes, I want to welcome, here you are, Carla Jorge Da Costa. She is head of recruitment and talent at BNP Paribas in Portugal. And I think she's presenting Ability Day, I think. Whenever you want, Carla.
Thank you. Thank you so much for inviting us and for allowing us the privilege of the participation in this guide with this practice that is actually quite recent for BNP Paribas Portugal. It started last year. But before presenting Ability Day, if you allow me to very briefly introduce the inclusive setup of BNP Paribas in Portugal, namely for recruitment purposes, but also in the integration throughout the useful life of an employee, any employee with any particular features or characteristics. And I would like to mention that BNP Paribas has a long history of inclusion in its DNA, let's say. This is for the group. This is true for the group in the 68 countries we operate in. But focusing on Portugal right now, which is the reality I know best, I would like to mention that in 2016, we were one of the first Portuguese companies to sign a pact, which was a pact for inclusion among a different number of companies who were committed for the inclusion of people with a disability. This was way before the decree law that would, force companies to fulfill 2% of their workforce with people with disabilities. We were not really worried about these kind of quotas. This is something that we were doing way before that, because this decree law was launched in 2019, and we were working in this process, as I mentioned, way before that. But the truth is that when someone asks us how many open positions or vacancies or job opportunities do you have for people with a disability, I really struggle to answer, because what we answer is that if we have, let's say, 100 open positions, well, we have 100 open positions for all talent. And there is no such thing for us as a quota of positions for the people with a disability, because all employees get in the bank for their own skills, motivation, and for all the best they have to bring, no matter whether they are, tall, red-haired, or with a disability. So particular features are not important for us when we are assessing talent. In these matters, BNP Paribas has been launching a number of initiatives. One of them, for example, we have launched a dedicated application channel for people with a disability, something we do not broadcast, but we share with associations representing people with a disability and universities who have signaled students with these characteristics. And this happens why sometimes we may think, well, this can be a bit discriminatory because we have a dedicated channel for this population. Well, we think it's not. We think society has still a long way to go in integration, and we need to face that honestly, assuming that if we do not create this particular channel, if someone with a disability will apply throughout the same channel as any other candidate, when a recruiter will be receiving 2 CVs for a position and comparing one CV with the other, the recruiter will not know that still, unfortunately, in the society, one of these may have had less access to or less opportunities to learning, less opportunities to career positions and career path. And if the recruiter will not know this difference, if they do their job well, they will probably select the CV without knowing that had more opportunities of learning, more opportunities in career path. And that's why we thought it would be really important to create this dedicated channel, which does not make any different in terms of, assessment of skills and absolutely equity in the way candidates are assessed. But then we will know that we will be able to flexibilize or everything that is related with a history of learning and a history of work experience. And that's it. Another example was the creation of an internal network of employees. Actually, we have other networks as well. It's networks around which employees, discuss and work on some interests that are common to them and that may have an impact in society. One of these networks is the Ability Network. It's quite recent. It's one of the most recent networks in the bank, in which employees themselves, autonomously, with all the support from the bank and the management, will ensure that not only the employees with a disability have a voice and are able to, express their needs, share their experiences, demystify a number of preconceptions around disability as well, but they also have an impact in society, namely in sports for people with a disability, integration in the job market, etc. And getting straight to the point and to your question, Victoria, on the Ability Day, this was one of the many initiatives we have been launching around inclusion. Ability Day, it's pretty much a day open to the world and to the society outside of BNP Paribas, targeting specifically the candidates with a disability. As I mentioned before, this was the second edition. Last week, actually, we had the second edition of Ability Day. It will happen every year. So last year was the first one. This initiative is open in the morning for the business, for the managers who will be the decision makers when it comes to recruit and hire any candidate, including candidates with a disability. There are also a number of roundtables and discussions open to the public outside the company as well, in which we have some guests from representing the world of integration and inclusion in Portugal as well. And in the afternoon, there is the fun part of the thing, which is pretty much similar to a job fair, open to candidates with a disability, prepared in all its logistics to welcome candidates with a disability, in which a number of business areas will be presenting in stands, like in a job fair. What do? They will discuss face-to-face with the candidates. They will know the candidates will know them, the activities, the teams, the expectations of the teams in what comes to recruitment. And there is also the possibility for candidates to be interviewed on spot with a number of recruiters prepared to welcome for fast interviews those candidates that are visiting us. This has been quite interesting. Last year, we were able to hire a significant number of our participants. This year, pretty much, we hope the same will happen, as the event was just last week. So no hirings yet, but a number of very interesting candidates are in process with us right now. And the expectations are the highest, as always. Again, this is an initiative pretty much aligned with this, position of integration, inclusion of all talent of BNP Paribas Portugal and BNP Paribas Group, by the way. Victoria, I'm not sure. I think we lost Victoria. Not sure if we have some questions meanwhile.
Hi, sorry about that. Can you hear me right now?
Sorry, it's coming back.
Sorry,
Hello.
very mindful.
We lost
connection. Yes, sorry about that. Carla, it was so interesting about your words and ability today, all the work that BNP Paribas is just making. But I wanted to ask you, one might think that in banking sector, it would be easier to promote inclusion of people with disabilities because perhaps your company have more resources to put on that specific topic. But have to overcome internal resistance to do that and to go through all those programs that BNP Paribas are going through?
To be honest, Victoria, we did not feel resistance. On the contrary, we felt maybe because BNP Paribas has this culture of inclusion in all its diverse aspects, including disability as well. But because this is so part of the DNA of the company, there are so many moments throughout the years in which employees, managers are involved discussing inclusion, tolerance, and equity, etc., in its various forms. We did not feel back there in the years exactly a resistance. What we did feel was some doubts, maybe some preconceptions, maybe some fears of not being able to manage in the future, how to manage absenteeism, how to manage, integration in the teams, this kind of more practical aspects, despite the will to welcome all talent. But there were some questions behind. So what we have done was, and we are still doing actually as a recycle process, is to involve managers, and soon we will be involving employees, all staff as well, in clarification sessions about disability, to demystify this kind of preconceptions and fears that some might feel in terms of being able or not being able to properly integrate, So actually, it's really a matter of not complicating. It's not rocket science, and absolutely. We felt the will or the willingness from managers and employees in general to actually learn more about this, be more prepared. And today, I may say, as I mentioned, we have started this process some years ago. Today, I would say that we feel no resistance. On the contrary, we feel this will. I manage the recruitment team, as I mentioned. It's very frequent that managers ask us, we have not seen lately a candidate with a disability in our shortlist. What's happening? So there is this will to actually go forward in this integration process.
Okay, then thank you, Carla, for the explanation and for your words. And I think now we're moving from Portugal to Italy. I think we're prepared right now for moving to Portugal to Italy. Hello from there. We've got Mara Adobati. Hello, ciao Mara. She's from the agricultural cooperative Regeneriamo, and she's going to explain their practice FormidaAbili project, yeah, and how also in primary sector progress has been made in promoting employment of people with disabilities. Mara, whenever you want.
Okay, thank you. I wanted to introduce this project with a video. So thank you to show this video.
FormidaAbili is a project on the work participation of people with intellectual disabilities. It is promoted by Regeneriamo, the benefit company and B Corp supported by LeroyMerlin, and since the end of 2020 has been running in LeroyMerlin Italy stores, tested in the stores of Turin Moncalieri and Rome Fiumicino. Today, FormidaAbili is active in all 52 LeroyMerlin stores in Italy, in 5 Brico Center stores, and starting out in about 10 Norauto stores. By the end of October, it has involved a total of 81 people, 14 hired on permanent contracts, 11 on temporary contracts, 22 on paid internships, 34 who have completed internships. The project adopts a tailoring approach specific to each stage and to each of the trainees who are involved in the daily life of the store. In activities such as customer reception, self-service checkout assistance, and departmental arrangement, the development of trainee skills occurs hand in hand with their insertion into the working and social fabric of the store. In parallel, training and mentoring is provided for store employees who voluntarily joined the project. To be formidable, you need to be aware that you are.
So I'm proud to show you to speak about this project.
Is there any problem with the video?
Okay. Can you understand? Can you hear me? I don't know if you can hear me. Okay. So
yes, right now, but the video, I think we've missed the last part of the video. But now we can hear you, Mara.
Okay, thank you. So I want to introduce myself. I'm Mara, HR manager in LeroyMerlin, and I'd like to speak about me. I've been married to LeroyMerlin since 2004. Because my relationship with this company has been possible thanks to the value we share. I'm responsible for development of resource as well as to promote a healthy work environment that allows people to grow and reach their full potential. Every person is unique, and therefore I make sure that such a uniqueness shines through and translate in an added value for our company. So, given this, we can see how the company Regeneriamo plays an important role in working together towards our goal. The scope of Regeneriamo is to generate a new economies while regenerating people, products, and guidelines. And doing so in an inclusive and entrepreneurial way. Thanks to their program, FormidaAbili, we have been collaborating with other associations in order to offer job opportunities to people with intellectual disabilities. For us, for LeroyMerlin, this is an important project because it carries out our strategy and mission to be useful to ourselves, others, and the world. So with this project is promoted by Regeneriamo, another non-profit organization supported by LeroyMerlin. And as you can see in the video, we started in 2020. Now we have 81 people FormidaAbili, and we are very happy to do this opportunity to these people because they are very contributor in the store. In this project, the relationship between a tutor, association, and FormidaAbili is very, very important. The tutor was training about disability aspects and difficulties, and the referent people have scheduled a recurrent meeting to check the state of workers involved in the program. So the project is tailor-made by specific needs of each FormidaAbili. So the FormidaAbili are involved in the daily life of the store, in activities such as customer reception, self-service checkout assistance, restock the products, or ground maintenance. FormidaAbili has generated a spin-off project, for example, Green Care, where the care of green near the store is given to other associations that integrate people with disabilities. Makers Cafe, where people with intellectual disabilities are integrated into the activity of cafe insights in the shop, or FormidaAbili social TV, first social TV in Italy, just hosted by young people with Asperger's syndrome. And they host a program with the different teams. What we really want to highlight is that to be formidable, you need to be aware that your worth is within you. And with this project, we can learn to find a solution that respects the different nature of these resources. We want to empower these people to contribute to society and to have a full life with equal opportunity.
Thank you, Mara. It's so interesting, the FormidaAbili project. I wanted to ask you, do you think values or cooperativism have something to make or predispose these social economy companies are predisposed towards models of inclusion? It is easier to run this kind of programs in a cooperative.
Yes, we
can hear me.
Yeah, I hear you. We want to extend this program. Also. Yeah, I hear you. Okay, so we want to extend.
I was asking you, can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you. And we want to extend this program not only in LeroyMerlin, but also with our company. For example, Norauto or other society in the group, in Adeo group. And I think this will be a great successful and also a satisfaction for a family about these people.
Thank you, Mara, for your words. And now we are moving to the last of our examples of good practices in labor inclusion with people with disabilities. We are moving from Italy to Spain. We've got with us Esteve Picola. We are talking about Fundación Integralia Valles, which belongs to a large company in the health sector, Mútua University Hospital in Terrassa. They attend 2 million patients a year. And as I said, we've got Esteve Picola, General Director of Mútua from Integralia Vallès, to explain to us the project. Esteve, cuando quieras.
Hi, good morning. It's a pleasure being here. Well, my name looks like Italian, but I'm not. I'm just here from Catalonia, from Spain, and so we are working here in a what we call a social benefit group. We work in the healthcare sector and the well-being sector. So managing not only the primary healthcare centers, but a university hospital, as you have said, and also some residencies for elderly, for mental handicapped, and for heavily mental handicapped people. So we are working here more than 5,000 professionals, 5,000 employees, and every day we take care of lots of people. So more or less during 1 year, we have more than 2.5 million contacts with people to try to have care about them, nurses, doctors, psychologists, etc. So Mútua Terrassa started a long time ago. Its origins came from 1900. So as a labor accident insurance. So dealing with those problems with the people that has a handicap after an accident, labor accident, has been a keystone during all those years till today. Nowadays, we manage 9 primary healthcare centers and 4 municipal clinics, also the hospital, as I have said, and more than 25 residencies for elderly people. So the problem we had, it was that every healthcare center had a different telephone number, and they manage individually long time ago. So we decided to make a call center, and we could do that by externalizing the call center or by constructing a call center inside of our organizations. So we decided something different. We decided to externalize, first of all, with Fundación Integralia, DKV, and this was fantastic because they had the know-how and we started fantastically. But they were placed 30 or 40 kilometers away from our zone. And the thing was that they hired people, disabled people, from our zone. So these people had to transfer, had to go to work 30 or 40 kilometers from their residence. Well, it was great, but big deal. How come that these people from our area are going to work so far away? Well, finally, it turns out that there was no special employment center for physically disabled people in our zone. No one. There were many centers for mentally disabled, but no one for physically disabled. So we asked Integralia, why don't you move to Terrassa? Well, and the answer was, why don't you make a call center in Terrassa to integrate physical disabilities? Well, and finally, we did something different. We make it's not a joint venture, a joint foundation, and we work together. We had the need, we had the work, we had the calls, we had the facilities in the city center, and they had the know-how. They had a lot of experience by managing a call center and by integrating people with disabilities. So Integralia Vallès is our zone, so we make a mixture. Integralia Vallès Foundation was established between Integralia and Mútua Terrassa. Well, we started in 2015 with 15 people, disabled people, working in Terrassa. All the different primary healthcare centers were integrated in this call center, step by step, slowly. And well, the number of operators grew, the activity went up, and we need to integrate, to recruit and to integrate more and more disabled people. All the workers, all the employees in Fundación Integralia Vallès has some kind of disability, of physical disability. Some of them mentally disability, but this is not the main activity. This is for the physically handicapped people. Today, we have more than 70, well, mainly 80 people in our call center, and we attend in average around 3,000 calls per day. Well, in these 8 years, Integralia Vallès has had impact to more than 150 people who have gone through training or direct recruitment. So some of them, 15, moved to an ordinary enterprise. This is one of our goals, not to have all the handicapped people, the disabled people blocked there in our foundation. As is, well, it's a special employment center, of course, that it's great for them, but the need is to put them in an ordinary enterprises, to move them to ordinary enterprises. So 10% of the total people who have been in contact with us moved to ordinary enterprises. So let's say that we are really pleased to have been able to contribute to improving the lives of many people. As the people in Fundación Integralia always say, this is not a special employment center only. Is a place where they reshape, they create new life projects for people who has some disabilities. So we have to focus on what people can do. Disabled have many abilities, and we have to focus on that.
I like your words, Esteve. I like those words. Thank you so much for the explanation. I wanted to ask you, what power skills or what skills have you identified in this team that make it unique to run that call center? Or do you think there are some power skills or different ones that make it different in some way?
Well, probably, I think that the most important is empathy. Empathy is something that you need to being in contact by telephone with other people that are asking you for help, because they need help. When you ask for an appointment for the doctor or for the nurse, you are asking for help. So you need some empathy, because you can hear the smile, you can hear your face if you are in a proper way liking to solve the problem with this appointment. And this is probably the most important thing. What we try to train to the people that we we accept in our organization and in Integralia to the whole is that they has this feeling of empathy, willing to solve problems.
So important, Esteve, to hear a smile when you're not feeling well. So important to connect, and so important the empathy with people that are not feeling well. Thank you, Esteve, for the explanation. Thank you for the experience and there in Fundación Integralia, but yes, and in the hospital in Terrassa. And now, before the questions that I remember, you can drop them in the chat. We are just working in another time. I think they are Federica. Yes, sure. We've gone back, and I wanted to welcome another time.
Thank you.
Federica. Federica Castellucci, Vice Direttore Generale of Mestieri Lombardia from Italy. That is one of the three social entities that are behind Better to Include. Thank you, Federica. If you want to say anything, this is your time.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning, everyone, and thank you all for being here. And a special thanks to our project partners, Fundación Integralia and Associaçao Salvador, for organizing this event and for sharing with us the journey of the Better to Include project. I'm sorry for changing the order of the presentation, but unfortunately later I have to leave you. So I take the mic now, and allow me just to tell you, allow me to start by telling you who is Mestieri Lombardia. Mestieri Lombardia is a non-profit employment agency operating in a Lombardy region with 17 agencies. And our mission is to promote opportunities of decent work for everyone, with particular attention to the most vulnerable people. Among them, there are for sure people with disabilities that are one of the main beneficiaries of our activities. For instance, in 2022, we supported more than 1,000 people with disabilities in finding employment. That is more or less 20% of the total number of people that we assisted. But Mestieri Lombardia is also a consortium of social cooperatives. Our members are consortium and cooperatives itself. And these subjects are our strategic partners in promoting social economic inclusion through access to employment. This is especially true regarding the inclusion of people with disabilities. In Italy, in fact, social cooperatives play a key role in providing employment opportunities for people with disabilities, being able at the same time to guarantee proper support and assistance to people with disabilities. So social cooperatives represent a real instrument of active labor policy in Italy, and Mestieri Lombardia contributes to this process thanks to research and selection activities and thanks to measures to enhance the employability of people with disabilities. It's not a coincidence that almost all the Italian best practices that we have included in the project guide belong to this sector. Regarding the guide, I just want to add that we are sure that instruments that we have developed thanks to the project, starting from the guide, but also the methodology and the context of the training course that Lusa at the beginning has already explained, could help us and our Italian stakeholders in our job towards the inclusion of people with disabilities. But we can't forget also the crucial role of private companies that in recent years have shown an increased awareness and commitment to inclusion issues. Also by promoting stronger collaboration with the world of social cooperation or no-profit organization in general, as we have seen with the experience of LeroyMerlin. In theory, we can say that people with disabilities could do any job if suitable conditions were in place. This is what the international approach to disability affirms, as established also by the United Nations Convention on the Rights of People with Disabilities. According to this approach, disability is the result of the combination of a subjective condition, whether physical, intellectual, or sensory, with the surrounding context. It means that disability is the result of the interaction with the different kinds of barriers that can affect the effective and equal participation of people with disabilities in society. There is still much to be done to eliminate these barriers that are physical, cultural, and social, starting from the world of work. This is why we think that projects like Better to Include are so important, giving us the opportunity to enlarge our perspective, to look at the experience of other countries, and to collaborate together to find innovative solutions for individuals and communities. Because I want to remember that inclusivity is the hallmark of a mature society, and all people that are here today, we work for this. And thank you again.
Thank you, Federica, for your words. And I think finally, we can say hi to Salvador Mendes Almeida. He's the president and founder of Salvador Association from Portugal, one of the three social entities that are behind Better to Include. Benvindo, finally, Salvador.
Hello.
Hello.
Can you confirm that you are listening?
Yeah, I confirm.
Yeah,
I can hear you.
Okay, thank you very much. So for me and for my organization, it's a pleasure to be here today with all these partners. And our organization, Associaçao Salvador, made 20 years exactly this year, and it was created by me and my father in a result of a motorcycle accident. Our goal is to raise awareness in society about the importance of promoting equal opportunities, and we develop projects in the field of adaptive sports, events, employment, and social support, accessibilities, and school awareness. It's a pleasure, and it's a very important day for us, because we work with a lot of social entities, and it's also important for the companies that employ the people with disabilities. And last but not least, even more important, for the people with disabilities themselves, who will benefit from all of this work. It was very motivating to witness the work of our team, the Associação Salvador, in collaborations with our best partners, the Fundação Integralia and the Cooperativa Mestieri, and it was very, very good. On this day, we launch our guide of good practice for labor inclusion. And this guide is the result of collaborative efforts and sharing of knowledge regarding the inclusion of people with disabilities in the job market. This project aims to raise more awareness for social labor good practices, and promoting, obviously, a more inclusive and diverse environment in Portuguese and in the European market, in the European market's job. For me, it is very important that the people with disabilities that have a job, and they get with more confidence and with more competences to promote and to to have better accessibilities on their cities. So this guide that we built contains various examples of good practices that we invite you to explore, replicate, and obviously to be a part of that. We appreciate the presence and the relationship of everyone on this work, and we are very interesting with all these works. Thank you very much for all your attention and for all this collaboration.
Thank you, Salvador. Thank you. And from the third non-profit organization that is behind Better to Include and behind this guide that we are presenting today, we have another time with us Cristina González Hipólito, Managing Director of Fundación Integralia DKV from Spain. Cristina, your turn.
Okay, thank you, Victoria. No, we only a few words about this project. The first I want to make it is give the thanks to the teams from the 3 countries who have worked intensively on this project, and congratulations for the excellent work and the results. This program that you can see, Better to Include, with the support of Erasmus Plus, promote joint with the social entities, no? Associaçao Salvador, Portugal and Mestieri from Italy, and Integralia Foundation. And the most important thing about this work is the experience that the companies in these different countries can compare, no, with us. We think that this is a very important example of that some companies, big companies in sometimes won't explain that the disabled people have a very valuable people in this organization. It's very important for the disabled people that in the world, in the different countries, consider them like a valuable labor persons. That you can see in Europe, no, the 30% of the population with disabilities is in risk of poverty and social exclusion, no? And the labor is the most important that the society, the administration, and the companies can make for them for change their life. No more for myself, and only said you that this work is very interesting. Invited you that read the guide, and in Integralia Foundation we are very happy to contribute with another these 2 countries to the to make the life of the disabled people better than now. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Cristina. And with your words, I think we arrived to the final. We are finishing this European event. I wanted to thank another time all of you for your presence on behalf of Fundación Integralia DKV from Spain, Associaçao Salvador from Portugal, and Mestieri Lombardia from Italy. I wanted to remember all of you that the guide of good practices in labor inclusion of people with disabilities is available, I think, in the link in the chat. You have there, you can get to the guide. And no more less to say. I hope it has been interesting and meaningful. And yes, still much to be done in inclusion, but progress is being made. It's already being made. Thank you, and goodbye.